The Legend of Zelda. It is one of the most influential games of all time. It can be argued that it is the first open world game, or at the very least, the game that popularized the genre. And because of that, we can thank Zelda for amazing games like GTA, The Witcher, Skyrim, and much more. Although certain parts of the game haven't aged too well, it's still a game that can still be thoroughly enjoyed today. Zelda was one of the few NES games that after beating the main game, they had additional content in terms of a hard mode, or what is really known as the second quest. The second quest consists of dungeons being located in different places with added difficulties. For some players that needed the extra challenge, the second quest was more than enough. But for some players, that wasn't enough. So they decided to take matters in their own hands and make challenges of their own. So the challenges that I'll briefly go over is the boss heart challenge, the 3 heart challenge, the 0 death challenge, and the reverse dungeon challenge. The boss heart challenge is the easiest of the challenges that I'm going to talk about today, and the one that I would recommend if you are interested in starting these challenges. The challenge consists of only getting additional hearts from bosses, because in Zelda, there are 2 ways of getting new hearts, either getting it out in the world while you're exploring, or getting it after you defeat a boss. So this challenge only allows you to get additional hearts from bosses. The next challenge, and I would argue is the most popular challenge, is the 3 heart challenge. The 3 heart challenge consists of completing the game without getting any additional hearts into it. Depending on the game, this can be the hardest community challenge that the game offers, and there are many renditions of the challenge. For example, like the Easy Challenge, which is a challenge in Ocarina of Time that is the 3 heart challenge, but on steroids. It's actually a very interesting challenge, and who knows, I might cover the Uber challenge in a future video. The next challenge is the reverse dungeon challenge, where you do the dungeon in the reverse order, so starting at level 8 and going down from there. This challenge is the hardest challenge in the beginning because you start off on the most difficult level, but as you can imagine, as you progress, it gets easier. Now, all these challenges are interesting and unique in their own way, but there is another challenge that I want to focus on today. It may not be the hardest challenge for NES Zelda, but it is the challenge that I personally find the most fascinating, and it's the NES Zelda No Sword Run. Now, here's a real question. Is it possible to beat the original Zelda without a sword? Well, yes and no. Spoiler alert for a game that's over 25 years old. The final boss Ganon can only be defeated with a sword. So people who attempt this challenge, that being usually speedrunners, just end the run once they reach Ganon. So if you want to beat the game, you need a sword. Otherwise, you can just consider that you beat the challenge once you reach Ganon. So whether you are interested in trying out this challenge yourself, or just curious to see what the process of the challenge entails, I want to break down a video of the current holder of the world record of the fastest time of completing this challenge. This runner's name is LackAttack24. Let's see how he did it. So before I go on with the actual analysis, I just want to preference by saying I'm not going to break down every advanced strategy LackAttack does in this run, because some of the decisions LackAttack makes isn't relevant in a swordless run. Keep in mind, although this is a swordless run of the game, this is also a speed run. I won't mention most advanced strategies if it's related or interesting, otherwise I won't bother mentioning it. So with that in mind, let's start the video. So LackAttack starts to run with immediately going to collect money to buy a candle. The reason he chose to get a candle is because the candle is the most versatile sub-weapon in the game that can also kill enemies. The most useful glitch that LackAttack takes advantage of is the screen scroll glitch, and if you're on a certain pixel and then go back and forth, you are able to reach the other side of the screen. This glitch was revolutionary because how much time it saved for speedrunners,
But for people doing a swordless run, this was a godsend, because the mindset you want to have in this run is a pacifist. Because unlike your sword, most of the weapons that can kill enemies in this game, you only get a limited supply of that item. So naturally, you want to avoid any unnecessary battles as much as you can. But there is a trick to manipulate the game so you can force drop whatever item you need. But I'll get to that in a minute. Another important strategy to mention was the up and A strategy. As I mentioned before, the mindset you want to have in this run is a pacifist. Although the screen scroll is gray, you can only use it if you're traveling left or right, not up and down. So alternatively, there is a better and safer way of getting to certain parts with this glitch, and here it is. It's called the up and A strat. If you plug in a second controller to the NES, it allows you to do a maneuver that when you press up and A on the second controller, it brings you to the death screen, which then brings you to the first screen, or if you're in a dungeon, to the entrance of the dungeon again. So rather than potentially taking damage or worry about the limited supply, using the up and A strategy more quickly to where you need to go, assuming it's closer to the first screen. Now, let's talk about the weapons that are the most useful in this run. The boomerang helps kill keys. The bow and arrow obviously helps you kill enemies from a distance. But what's great about the original Zelda is your ammo for arrows, is the amount of money that you have. So the fact that the money is so frequent in this game makes the arrows a great weapon to use. The magic wand is simply just the upgraded version of the arrows, but rather than taking ammo, the magic wand does not require any ammo of any kind. So that's a weapon you can imagine that you'd be using frequently. But by far, the most important weapon in this run are bombs. Because not only does bombs do 4 damage, but it can kill multiple enemies. Something that Zelda speedrunners found out was that depending on the certain order you kill enemies, you can force a drop of certain items. So if you're low on bombs, you can force a drop. When this trick was discovered, it was revolutionary, and is what literally makes this one possible. The enemies that will cause you the most trouble in this run are Dark Nuts and Wizrobes, because Dark Nuts can only be killed if they walk in the opposite direction of the bomb, and Wizrobes move in a horizontal pattern, and they will take out 3 hearts with a single hit. The great thing with boomerangs is that it paralyzes enemies and causes them to stand at one place, which can be great if you don't intend on killing the enemy and just need to get past them. Or sometimes the enemy is holding a key and that allows you to grab it. One glitch that speedrunners figured that was incredibly helpful and saves time is when you're trying to kill one of the mini bosses. By playing your magic flute as the bomb is about to detonate, it will cause the bomb to blow up multiple times, which will cause more damage to the mini boss, and best of all, you will save bombs. One thing I am curious and would like to see more of in Zelda speedruns is boosting. For those who don't know the term boosting as it pertains to speedruns, in most games, especially classic NES games, if you get hit, your character will jump back. And this could be used to your advantage when speedrunning because it can bring you somewhere that you wouldn't normally get to or help save time. Usually both. I feel the potential that boosting has in Zelda is pretty underrated, and I've seen previous speedruns of different games and seen how much it has helped the runner in certain situations, so I would definitely love to see more of that in Zelda. So that is it for the video. This is my first video, so any feedback is appreciated. But anyway, you're awesome for making it this far into the video. Thank you for watching and have an awesome day.